Oh, when I see a grandma lift up an iPad, I'm like 100% going to take a picture of her.
100% getting a picture of her on her iPad.
Yes.
Yeah. The iPad kills me and I love it. I will say I'll move in front of her after like a couple seconds. Like, Grandma, you had your moment. I have to go back to work. But like, we'll make sure we get Grandma. Don't worry.
If you're doing this during the first kiss, I am elbowing you out, bringing back my basketball moves, and we are getting the shot. Hello and welcome to episode 289 of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. I'm your host, John Mansfield, and today I've got a fun episode. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about not just taking photos, but actually curating for your client's legacy and what it looks like to think about that before the photo shoot and everything. My guest on the show today is Nichole Babiez, and every now and then I get a guest who is as tangenty as I am, and we talk about a lot today. So we do talk about legacy for sure, but we also get into things like gardening. Things about like what it's like living in your childhood home, and other things like we get interrupted by my 8-year-old preserving her legacy by hanging pictures on the other side of the wall of my office. But yeah, it's good episode. It's good conversation. And before we get into that conversation, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor of the show today, SoFi. That was hard to say with S's and SH's and so many things. But the sponsor of the show is SoFi. If you haven't heard of high yield savings accounts, I highly recommend that you get one. Obviously, I'm not a financial expert or anything near there, but high yield savings accounts give you a much bigger interest rate than traditional savings accounts and like your normal bank. So the savings that you have for gear, for taxes, for whatever you're saving up for in your business can actually be making you some money, and you can still access it just as easily. So go check out SoFi and you get an extra $25 whenever you open an account for free. So it's like free money. You can check that out at allheartphoto.com/SoFi. That's SOFI. Now let's get into my conversation with Nichole Babiez. I find myself doing that so many times at conferences and stuff where I'm just like, oh, I have just been sitting here listening to this conversation that I was not invited into.
No, literally, it's like I just went to one in Chicago and we were bopping around to different groups. And then I realized at one point I just had walked up to a group of people that I knew and I didn't even really like acknowledge anybody. I was just kind of listening in. And then I kind of went on and you kind of naturally do it. You just kind of float around a little bit. I'm a floater when it comes to those things.
Me too. I feel like if I stay too long in one conversation, I'm like, I don't know. I start getting in my head or something.
Yes.
And
overtalking, oversharing. And I'm like, Nichole, bring it back. Remember what we're here for. Let's go. Let's find a new spot.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's the best whenever I just walk up to a group and I'm like nodding along and they don't notice that I'm like have joined the little circle until I laugh at something that they say and they're like, oh
my gosh. Hey,
John,
where'd you come from?
Welcome.
Welcome to the conversation.
Welcome to the conversation. How
You're
long
like,
have you been
along.
here?
I love it.
Yes. Yep. Snaps. We're good.
Snaps. Or the new thing I'm learning, like the new I don't know if it's is it these fingers? I do these fingers.
I think it is the middle fingers.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm learning. My
I'm
husband just taught me
old.
something the other day. He works at a high school and I was like, he said something.
So he has like, all the like fresh things.
Yeah. He does. And he doesn't even realize he knows he's in with the times until he says something to me and I go, I don't know that. That makes me feel old. How did you know that? He's like, school. I said, okay, works. Okay, makes sense.
High schoolers. I learned this from teenagers.
Lingo in the hallways. It travels. I learn.
Yeah. I have learned over the last like year that like the millennial heart, we don't do that anymore.
I know. It's
And
this
it's
one.
like this one, which feels like a gang sign to me.
So weird. Really, it does. It feels like Crips and Bloods. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because I remember like being like 12 and trying to conform my fingers into spelling blood.
Yes.
And yeah.
Or like West Side all the time, like just in the streets as kids. And I'm like,
all the time.
And my mom would be like, where'd you learn that? School. But now it's this one. I could do it. It just doesn't feel right. Like my fingers
I have to think about it. Like my brain has to be like, nope, turn in this way. And here we go.
And then it's this, but now it's not even this anymore. It's just this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just
and that feels weird. Yeah. What is this?
Yes.
This is what we used to do in front of a lamp when the lights were out and we made a dog. Like that is exactly.
This is shadow puppets.
That's what I think of. Literally, this is a shadow puppet. Nope, it's the new heart. And also, this looks more like a heart. I feel like because you have like the tips of the. Let's bring it back.
Too.
Bring it back.
Bring back the heart. I do like the little like the Korean K-pop.
I love that
little finger heart.
I love this. Yes. Yeah. I had a bride do this one time, like a few years back, and I had no idea. This was like 5 years ago, and all of her and her girlfriends were doing it. And she's like, "It's the Korean heart." I said, "This is so cute. This is like super sweet. It's like a quick little like."
It is. It is. It's very cutesy. Just little heart, and you don't like. You can miss it if you weren't even paying attention.
Exactly.
Which I love.
It's that good.
You cannot miss the shadow puppet.
Literally, hand. I think that's the new term for it. Shadow puppet.
Shadow puppet heart. Nichole, gosh. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
I'm so happy
excited
to be here.
to chat today. We're talking about legacy for our clients, which is something that I feel like was a focus. I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 years ago. There was a big push toward legacy and printed artwork and all of that. And then things kind of shifted. And it has been I've seen a lot more focus of like, we're going to make these reels, or I'm going to, get you these photos of everyone wearing like the bedazzled sunglasses so that you can pop them together to that fun song. And I'm excited to chat a little bit about legacy today. But before we get into that, tell us about where you are, what you do, where you're based, all that kind of stuff.
All that fun stuff. Yeah. Okay. So I born and raised in the Chicago area. I service Chicago primarily, but born and raised in Mundelein, Illinois, if you know. Brownie points too, because it's a smaller town, but it's also a little bit in the northern suburbs. Yeah. I know.
My wife probably does because she lived in Chicago for like, I think from 6 to 11.
Okay. She might.
It's
a little up north. It's about 54 miles north of the city. So I'm kind of in that area where it's like if I go early in the morning, I get a 50-minute drive. But then if I go at sunset for a sunset, 2.5 hours. Yep. So we get a little bit of that broad, the spectrum of driving. I'm a lover of the Chicago traffic. If you see me on the streets, you'll find I'll be zooming through that 94. But I was born and raised here. We currently live at the house that my parents had built, and it is just like that also kind of goes into the legacy aspect. It's just like all the memories and everything, and just being in a small town where everybody is just so pure, and it's really hard to find nowadays too. It has its blessings and its curses. I try to go to the Jewel 2 minutes down the road from me, and first thing in the morning in the PJs, and I know everybody there, but then it's also like, everybody there, and it's just so fun all the time. So grew up around here. I've been doing this for, this will be my 9th year in October. So it's been a really fun ride. It doesn't feel like 9 years. I say that and I go, it was like last year we just started doing this. No, honey.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. Like after like 5-6 years, it's just like, has it been that long? Because you're like waiting, like once you hit 5 years, you're like, it's been 5 years. And like, this is a good milestone. After that, like it's kind of like age. Whenever someone asks me my age, I'm like, I'm 30 something.
Yeah.
I'll have to do the math to figure out where
I'll have to subtract, and all my clients know I'm not good at math. I'm very right brained. I'm very not left brain savvy. I'm like, that's why I do what I do. You're getting me fully for my creativity, not for my math.
Yeah.
Leave that to the pros. But yeah, it's
No,
been, I feel like the 9 year for sure. 9 years is just, it's a long time, and it's kind of like the age thing. You just start to kind of forget and they blend together, but then you're like, wow, we've done so much in such like, it feels like a short period of time, but it's grown and blossomed and it's great. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I love that you're like in the house that your parents built. Did you live in there as a child, or was this like after you
did.
Okay.
I did. So I was brought home here as a baby. They built it when the neighborhood was being.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was your whole childhood here.
This is my whole childhood. This has been our office for forever. It's been really like, honestly, gratifying, but also super nostalgic. And it gets quite emotional sometimes when we start to kind of change the spaces, and they're now no longer the spaces that they were when, I was 5 years old or 10 years old or 15 or 18. It's like, wow, like this is becoming like mine and my husband's home too. And it's just like, it's holding all those memories, but then also making our own on top of it has just been so awesome. And like to make an office space that like I've always dreamed of in my home, like it's so, so cool. And like, I'm really blessed to have that opportunity, because I know not a lot of people are, and to be able to take this over and just kind of make it our own too. And while it holds all that, it's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, that is really cool. And there is like that line that you kind of have to like, the nostalgia and we can still like honor this place and change the room. This does not have to have the same wallpaper that it did in 1994.
Exactly.
We can change this up. But
we can get new carpet. It's okay.
We can get new carpets. We can put in hardwood.
Which I have been doing. This is all new, and I love it. This used to be carpeted, and it's like just to be able to do that, because it's still the space itself. It holds the same weight. It's just different, and it's changing with as time goes on, and that's what I love about it. I'm all for it. As
we do as people, we should not stay the same with the same I was going to say the same carpet. I don't know.
Honestly, though, to be fair,
we need to change our haircuts.
We do. I love a good haircut. If you're like going through like a stressful wedding season, and I'm like, I'm good for a chop or something, or I go to the shag and I get the bangs. I'm like, you just gotta sometimes do it. You
gotta switch it up. Yeah. I was very much like, my dad was in the military, so I had just like buzz cut all the time.
Oh my gosh.
And once I probably like mid-20s, I was like, I can do something different. I can grow my hair out if I wanted to. It can touch my ears.
You have freedom. I know.
Freedom. Yeah. And there's something about just like a good fresh haircut that's like, I feel like a different person now. I have a lot more confidence to get through.
And it literally is like a weight lifted off your shoulder. But I do find so much power in the meaning of like what hair holds and the memories that it has too. Because you do think about it. Like I just recently got my hair done, and we went on our honeymoon last year to Italy, and I had I had little highlights, but they got super blonde when I was there. And I recently just got a chop, and all my blonde was gone. And I was like, dang, that went to Italy with me. And I'm like, now it's not with me anymore. So it is kind of weird sometimes how you like, I get very, not emotionally attached, but I just see so much emotion in different things. And it's like, that's one of those things where it just kind of caught me. I was like, oh, I kind of am a little sad right now, but it's just hair. But it is always nice to just get that new, like, and then you're like, okay, now it's like a fresh start in a way. It's like you're just cutting off the old, starting new. And I love hair, and having curly hair too has been so fun. Like just to be able to just do whatever you want with it. It's like, it's a playground essentially. You just style all the things.
It has been fun. Like the longer, I mean, my hair is pretty short right now, but I've let my hair grow out a little bit longer, and just finding that I have like wave in my hair. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yes.
I did not know that. This is a lot more fun.
It is so fun.
Yeah. No, whenever you said the cutting off the blonde part, it made me think of our 5-year-old who, she had like these little curly blonde locks, and and then she was like, I want to cut my hair, and it was like mid back, and she was like, I want to cut it like here, like right at her shoulder. And we were like, okay. And like, we like folded it up and like kind of showed her what it would look like. And she was like, yes. And
like
there was that like nostalgia of like, ooh, but these are you still going to have curly hair? And is it going to look the same? Are we cutting off your blonde? And now you're going to be brunette?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. And now we look at photos from, because this was like probably 4 months ago that we did this. And we look at photos from last year and we're like, that doesn't look like her. Like
really?
her short haircut, that is her. Like that is her personality. It fits so well. We're like, we're glad that we didn't just like hold on to things and be like, no, we can't cut your hair yet. We gotta.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, we're not ready. You might be ready. Right, we're not ready.
Yeah. We still held on to the hair like weird people and put it in a Ziploc bag.
I feel like everybody does in a way. I mean, I feel like especially, is she your first?
She's our third.
Oh my gosh. Well, even still, I feel like, is it the first chop or is it just like, it was the curls? What was it?
It was the first chop, but also the curls.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure that it's very normal, but standing from outside looking and like, you have a bag of teeth that
that's immediately where I thought when we talked about cutting like hair, I was like, immediately went to teeth. And
I'm like, what are we going to do with these teeth? I know.
think my mother still has my teeth and my hair from my first haircut.
My mother still has a few of my teeth just rattling around in a box. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do with this. I'm not going to inherit this.
No, that's the
I'm
thing.
not going to keep my teeth.
No, and even my husband found out that my mom kept my teeth. And he does not have many things from his childhood. He moved here from another country. So like he pretty much just like his family are his memories and stuff. So, and they have some like digital photos. But when he found out about the teeth, he was like, why do people keep teeth? And I said, yeah, they do. It's sentimental. And he goes, we're not doing that. And I said, you might change your mind when we have a child. And you're like, I want to keep everything that they own.
Mm-hmm. When they lose that first tooth, it's like, I can't just let the tooth fairy take this.
No, you're coming with me.
Yeah. That's very interesting. So like, I moved around a ton as a kid, and like we don't have a house that my parents brought me home to that I grew up in. It's very like separate. I think we moved 14 times before I started high school. So it was, I don't have a lot of like nostalgia. So I'm very interested for like talking about legacy.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that, like it hits differently for you than it does for me. And like, how do you focus on legacy for your clients? Like what do you do to prepare for that? Like, what does that even look like as a photographer preparing for your client's legacy?
I love that. Honestly, a lot of it comes through just like mental reminders throughout your job all the time. That's my big thing. I feel like it's not really like, a certain time to kind of really be focusing on it, but always just kind of really in the back of your brain. And also just kind of, really taking yourself out of it. That's the biggest thing for me. I feel like sometimes we get, our own emotions involved, and in a good way at times, but then also just sometimes not really, how do I say this right? Essentially really just wanting you to put yourself in their shoes. At the end of the day, we're service providers. And that's the one thing that I constantly remind myself is that I'm here to serve these people and this relationship and this family and these memories and these legacies. And it's really like, again, it's just taking yourself out of it and just really prioritizing the people that you're working for and working with and just around, and just really being in tune with, moments that are happening, especially on wedding days. A lot of the times just kind of predicting moments that are going to happen. You're going to walking down the aisle, and then mom goes and sits down next to dad or grandpa, and they're going to probably hold hands. Someone's going to comfort and stuff like that. So it's just focusing on those moments really helps kind of preserve that legacy, because at the end of the day, for me, legacies are really filled with emotion. there's a lot of, storytelling through imagery. And don't get me wrong, I love editorial shoot. I love, bridal portraits. I love the family formals, all the things that are posed and fun and creative. But also at the end of the day, that these are the memories that people and everybody else that's going to this wedding and or event or life moment, milestone, they're taking home with them. So I want to make sure that they're remembering that this is fun. They were living in the moment. And a lot of the times on my calls too, I will tell couples just very honestly, I do add times for photo shoots, but at the end of the day, I don't want you looking down the barrel of like a camera and looking down my lens the entire time and just feeling like you were so involved in the photos you weren't present. So it's really about, again, just reminding yourself that you have, a legacy to preserve for years to come. And also like what that relationship looked like and the time that it was. So 30 years from now, they can look back at this and be like, wow, this is just so special and honorable. And to be able to have, especially focusing on moments that don't involve the couple, I love getting people involved. And it's like, I know this is me going on a tangent.
Yeah. No, we love tangents here.
And it's just kind of like one of the things that I love doing too, that really helps me focus on that legacy is, okay, they all invited all of these people for a reason. I'm going to do the best of my ability to make sure that I can really present that through the gallery. So I'm interacting with the guests. I am, having fun with them. I'm having them do things, where like if there's a prop, we're playing like all the things just to kind of get the mood up. Because at the end of the day, we're there all day. We want to just get the vibes up, get the mood up. And, it's a lot of fun. The legacies are just truly something, because I kind of going back to my About Me origin story and all that stuff. I lost my dad when I was 15. And he was sick for a while, going through a lot of things. And at the time I was in high school, I think a sophomore, 15. So I got pulled from school and I was told, they had information that he was going to be around a lot longer. And then we got word closer to that he was going to be around for like a couple more days. So it kind of really hit me. And then when he did end up passing, we had all of these gallon buckets of photos of film and just packets and albums and unfinished albums, which is kind of all right behind me. I was able to finish them all. Not all of them. I have one storage bin left, but this is what I've been able to kind of curate over
that is months. A lot. Yeah,
it is. And it doesn't always feel like a lot, but then when you open it and it's like, wow, there's 3 photos per page and there's like hundreds of pages in here. It is insane. But that's my legacy right there. And it literally lives on my shelf. And if I am feeling down or if I'm feeling, sad or missing him, he left me with so much. And when we were looking through things for his memorial, I got to learn who he was growing up from 21 to getting married, to having me, to, becoming an uncle, at a young age too. And just like seeing him grow up through his Chicago homes with my grandma and, all those things and all the dogs he's had and all the cars he's had. And just like, that is to me, like what a legacy is. It's leaving behind, memories that you really want captured, and also the in-betweens, because it shows the true emotion and personality of all the people. And it's like, that's where I like to really pull through, is like getting that personality, getting those smiles, the laughter and all the things. And just remembering that at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about the couple. And I really just want to make sure that I'm getting as much as I physically can in order to tell that story for them.
Have you ever learned something that you feel like you learned way too late in life? I feel like that guy from Instagram who's like, here's something I didn't know until my 30s, because here is something I didn't know until I was in my 30s. Your savings account can actually make you money. And I'm not talking about like traditional savings accounts that are making you like 0.01 to 0.3% interest, just pennies. That's pennies, people. I'm talking 1.5 to over 4% interest. That doesn't sound like much, but if you're talking numbers, let's say you have like $5,000 in your savings account for taxes at the end of the year, that's the difference between accruing $15 and $200 extra dollars. Now, this is a high yield savings account. I've talked about these a few times on the podcast, but now I have partnered with SoFi to bring you a little extra money. Whenever you start your free high yield savings account through SoFi, they will deposit an extra $25 in there for you for free. That's literally free money. And yes, this high yield savings account is just like a normal savings account where you can access your money. You don't have to like wait for 7 to 10 business days until you can get anything out. It's a normal savings account, except you're making more money. So go to allheartphoto.com/SoFi. That's allheartphoto.com/SOFI and let your money make you money. Yeah, I think that is a great reminder because like a lot of times we get into like business owner mind too much on a wedding day of like, well, I need to do this, or I'm, planning to submit some photos for this publication, or I want to submit for this award. So I think this would be a great venue, or this would be a great couple to do this. And like, we think about like, what can I get out of this? What content am I going to have that I can use from this wedding? And especially with like the behind the scenes videos and stuff these days, which I'm all for behind the scenes videos. I think it is so fun. I think it is so valuable for our couples, like potential couples, to see what is it like working with Nichole? What does she do? How does she pose? What's her vibe like? Like I can see on Instagram what her vibe is like, but what is it on my wedding day? And having that, but like there's like that line that we kind of have to toe of, you can get those things, but don't forget, like you said, those reminders throughout the day of, I'm here for this couple. I'm here for this family. I'm here for grandma and grandpa that, a lot of times photos of grandparents at weddings are some of like the last professional photos of them. Exactly. That they'll have. And like, that is so important for the families that you're photographing at these weddings and even at like family sessions and stuff like that, like thinking about them, thinking about their relationships together, instead of just like, we're going to do this photo, or I saw this thing on Pinterest and we want to recreate this. It's like I find that working slower, which, on a wedding day, everything is so fast.
Always. It's so real. And the way you kind of, to piggyback off of grandpa, I just did a wedding and some of my favorite photos are grandparents taking pictures because it's what they love to do. They love also preserving the memories. Because at the end of the day too, I also have to remind myself, we are preserving family history. This is that family history. I love being able to show a couple, this is how much your grandpa loves you. Look at this picture. He's taking a picture of your details. Come on, go off, grandpa. I love it. And, it really is like the preservation of the family history. And again, like you said, slowing down. I literally sometimes when I get overwhelmed, or I sometimes get too much into the creativity or the details or, the fashion, I'm like, okay, wait, we got enough of that. Let's just like take a step out of the room, survey the room, see where the emotions are like super energetic and super high and, very, emotive and everything. And then I'll kind of work my way through that room and then start to grab those candids and all that kind of good stuff. And then, the smiles and squeezes and stuff like that. But it just kind of goes back to that whole preservation of the family history. And like you said about not everyone's going to be here. I actually, unfortunately had a friend pass away a couple weeks ago, and I did a wedding in April for a friend of ours, and he was there, and I got a lot of photos of him, on the dance floor. I got one of him just like running by the bride and giving her a squeeze, him laughing during cocktail hour and reception. And it was just like, I cannot tell you how many people came up to me and were like, we are so incredibly grateful for these photos because these are some of the best photos we have of him. And that it literally gives me chills every time, because it's like, that is exactly what I want to be able to leave people, because that's what my dad left me. And it makes me so emotional, truly. Like it's such a beautiful thing. It's so hard too, because it is so weighted sometimes when you do have that sadness tied to it, but it's the gratefulness and like the gratuity that people show you. That's what makes it like 10,000 times worth it. And that's always the reminders too. It's stuff like that. It's not necessarily just me reminding myself, but people reminding me of, you're doing this for us. Thank you so much. And it's just, it's one of the best jobs in the world. It can be stressful for sure, but it's just being able to do that for people and give them that sort of emotional connection to a photo is just, undescribable. I think you're frozen. Yeah, it's okay. I know, you kind of saw me pause for a second. I was like, I think something happened.
I hate that was like such like a good moment too, where I was just like, yes, Nichole, keep talking. I will figure this out. Like, but yeah, no, I think it's something that like it's so easy to lose in the business of being a photographer is those moments. And like I've talked to so many photographers and just like seen people complaining on TikTok of like, well, this grandma kept getting up and taking photos with her iPad. And I'm like, oh, when I see a grandma lift up an iPad, I'm like 100% going to take a picture of her.
100% going to get a picture of her on her iPad. Yes. Yeah. The iPad kills me and I love it. I will say I'll move in front of her after like a couple seconds. Like, grandma, you had your moment. I have to go back to work. But like, we'll make sure we get grandma. Don't worry.
If you're doing this during the first kiss, I am elbowing you out, bringing back my basketball moves, and we are getting the shot.
And that's, I feel like, also where it really goes to timing of things. Like, I feel like a lot of times we feel like it goes back to the sense of rush and like urgency. And I think sometimes when we just kind of let ourselves be a fly on the wall for a minute, let things happen. That's how I move through my wedding days a lot too. And I feel like that's kind of one of those things that can set you apart from just a photographer in the industry. It's being able to step aside, let moments happen, but then insert yourself when necessary. I feel like it's just so hard because sometimes a lot of photographers, we have an urgency to want to interrupt or fix something or kind of, tweak it. And don't get me wrong, it's in my brain all the time. Like, I'm such a type A person, but at the end of the day, you shoot so many weddings, you start to realize some of those little tiny things are not going to necessarily hold the weight that you think it will by interrupting that moment. That moment holds way more weight and way more emotion. So really just kind of always kind of be thinking, and your head's always on a swivel of like, okay, now is the time, now is that, and just kind of being present on that. Also, this is going to be so funny. Let's see if my Roomba opens my door. It is banging against the door right now because it wants to clean the office. I was like, who's in? I'm home by myself. So I'm like, who is at my door? It's the Roomba.
Who is here?
Sorry. Oh, I was like,
just like mini heart attack. It's okay.
Slight heart attack. But yeah, I do like, and again, it kind of going back to what you said about BTS. I love BTS. We take BTS all the time. I know couples love BTS. There is so much value in it. There are just times where, you really have to be like, okay, is this a BTS moment or is this like a core memory? Someone's going to look at this photo 50 years later, printed in my album moment. And, oh my gosh, I could go on a tangent and we could talk about this for literally 5 hours and I would not be able to like take a breath. I would just keep going. So
I'm here for it. My computer may not be, but I'm here for it. My computer's like, I got 20 more minutes. I got 20 minutes in me and I'm literally needing a break. I don't know why my computer's like an old smoker, but sometimes
mine's
it gets
getting
warm.
there. Mine's getting there. She's in her like mid 30s right now. She's rocking a couple cigarettes, some drinks every once in a while. A lot of wine, I think, that's for my.
Yep. Mine's like, I am coming to the end. You're gonna need to get a new model pretty soon.
Yes, I know. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but I love what you said about like not interrupting those moments, because it reminded me of I was second shooting years ago with someone who was just like posted in one of those Facebook groups of like, emergency, my second shooter is in the hospital, I need someone for Saturday. And I was like, I don't have anything this Saturday. That's cool. I'll go second shoot. I don't have to edit any of these photos later. This will be different. And it was someone that I didn't know. So I didn't know her shooting style. And there was a moment where like the bride and the mother of the bride were having like this really sweet moment. I think they were like opening a present or something that the mom had given her. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. And like I was getting an angle, the lead photographer was getting an angle, and then she was like, oh wait, hold on a second, your necklace, and like went in, and it was just like the clasp had come around to the side, which yes, during like family portraits or like something like that, that's something that we're gonna fix. But like it completely ruined the moment. And they were just like, okay, and and here's the gift. You've got to you're sucking. It's that photography math. It's not like regular math. It's photography math of, is this worth the stopping the moment to fix this? If it's during a portrait, probably. If you're just like, here, now stand and look off in this direction, there's not a lot of like emotion going on. But if it is a moment like that, it's like, this is not going to be important. They will much rather have those tears and like the look of love in each other's eyes for each other. They would much rather have that photo than the one where the necklace is corrected.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, too, we have to remember that they aren't in front of the camera and around cameras and media as much as we are. So like there are some, I've worked with a lot of couples who are heavy on social media and stuff and, you know, very comfortable in front of a camera. But a lot of times these are maybe 1-2 shoots before this, and this is their wedding day. Emotions are already crazy. You're feeling anxious, you're feeling nervous, or you're feeling excited. It could be anything. But at the end of the day, when you are able to kind of just let your guard down and just, that's hard to kind of break back down when somebody interrupts that. It's just like, and I've seen it before. I grew up a lot in this industry, actually, not really by second shooting, but actually by, posting to Facebook Marketplace about, shooting weddings for $50, $100. It's kind of how we got started. And when I did start working for people, it really does. And I think that also kind of goes back to, I do think it is good for everybody to always be second shooting to one extent or another, whether it's one wedding every other year or, a couple weddings a year or something, just to kind of really bring yourself back to your why. Because I did that in June a lot, and it really just made me really, one, get creative again and kind of try new things and have a lot of fun with it. But two, also just to be able to realize what really means the most to me. Because as a second, you really get to capture like anything and everything. And that for me was a lot of those emotion driven moments when people were just fully present and forgot we were there. And I was just on them like glue. Like it was, so yeah, I 1000% resonate with what you're saying, because it's just, that's the way it should be, just us doing our job as a service and then fixing when needed.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like I tell my couples, like I'm there to guide you, but I'm not there to control you. Like I want you to do your thing, and I want to create like a safe place, a comfortable place where you can be yourself. You can be goofy if you want to be goofy. Yeah. You can, if you want to lean into editorial, I'm all about it. Like we can do some cool stuff. But I'm not going to be there just like correcting everything all day long. Yeah. Because it turns it into a photo shoot. And then they look back and they're like, I mean, we had some fun moments, but like, I feel like we were just kind of the subjects of the day and didn't get to experience it. Which kind of like with that, you mentioned time and like stepping back and like almost being a fly on the wall, kind of letting things come about on their own. Do you do like all day coverage, or like let's figure this out in 8 hours sort of thing? Like how do you create that time on a wedding day?
I always tell my couples, and I feel like a lot of other photographers probably do the same, buffer time is going to be your best friend on a wedding day. The last thing I want you to feel like you're doing is, chasing the clock. Because at the end of the day, the clock's already running. Time's ticking. You are just go, go, go. And it's, you blink. We eloped. We did a reception. We've done all the things, literally. And it always goes by fast, no matter what it is, no matter how long the day is going to be. It just, so to be able to have that buffer time really emphasizes the space to give the couple to be able to be present. I always, I never really do 8 hours anymore. I've been offering a lot more full day where it's just kind of like if it ends up being 12, 13, it's 12 or 13. If it's 10, it's 10. But at the end of the day, you have that day to just be able to kind of give yourself the space to move and be present. Because again, it's not about all, and I feel like most of the times it's normally around 10 hours. That's the sweet Chicago spot, I feel like. Obviously, depends on if we're doing a first look and we're driving around the city. Because the city always adds in like another 2 hours sometimes. But
multiple locations.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you can hear this.
I can!
Okay.
Can you tell? I'm trying. I was like,
I know.
Someone's doing work.
I think it's my 8-year-old hanging photos on the wall on the other side of this office.
How sweet, though.
It's very sweet. Legacy. She's putting up those printed photos.
Exactly. She's going to be a photographer.
I am going to take a moment just to go remind her.
Hey.
Dad's recording right now. I need one of those like red lights outside of my office doors.
You just gotta knock
back the light
and be
on.
like, hey.
I know. I was like, if I could reach the wall,
she's sending you Morse code right now.
She is. She's saying, I know you're recording.
I know.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, you're good. I'll be here. I love how she goes, I'll try. The hammer, I don't know. Might get in my hands. I'll try.
I don't know. Yeah. So I love like doing stuff with the kids and like, whenever I'm fixing something, I'll always be like, hey, like my 8-year-old was playing with my wife's earrings, dropped one down the sink. And I was like, all right, you're going to come with me. And we're going to take apart the little thing under the sink, and we're gonna find the earring. So like I got the monkey wrench out for her, and like she was helping me set it and like loosen the stuff. So she knows where all of my tools are. And this morning I found a hammer and a screwdriver and an Allen wrench all in her room. So she's like in a fix-it mode today.
Yeah. I used to get those as a kid too. My dad always used to kind of let me be by his workbench, and like I always did like the outside stuff with him. I was a very hands-on daughter. He always said like he had the best of both worlds because I was an only child. He's like, I feel like I get a little bit of the boy and I get a little bit of the girl because she likes to get her hands dirty. But that's so great though. But that is a dangerous game though. I used to do that a lot with wood and nails and hammers like outside in the garage, and they'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Building." Just building things. Just
building stuff. Yeah. I would just, digging was for me. I would just go in the backyard with a shovel and just dig like a 3-foot deep hole.
Would you like in dirt, or would it be like a plot or grass? What were we digging?
Whatever was around.
Whatever John can get his hands on.
Yeah. Usually it started off as grass.
And I'm sure that probably wasn't a fan favorite.
Probably not, because my parents also rented. I think they bought their first house when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And that one was out in the country. So they were like, 5 acres, go dig all you want.
Yeah, literally.
But
have fun.
Yeah. No, I encourage the creativity and the build it with your hands sort of stuff. But not while Dad's recording.
Yeah. She'll try. We'll see.
I'll try. I don't know, Dad. We'll see. You say 15 minutes.
Call my name.
I know where that hammer is. So
yeah. Staring right at me.
We'll see if I can not rearrange furniture. But yeah, I have really loved this conversation.
I have too. This has been great. So fun.
Is there anything, or I guess not, is there, what are some things that you would recommend for people who are just like, Nichole, this sounds great, but like my wedding days are so packed. Like you talk about like creating that buffer space. We mentioned it earlier of like not doing like only 8 hours, which I don't offer that anymore. I'm like, I'm not booking another wedding like in the morning of your wedding. So what else am I doing other than like relaxing at home?
Exactly. Or waiting to leave. That's my thing. I'm like, I'm just waiting to leave right now. I could be getting my hands on details or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I showed up an hour early to my wedding last weekend and they were like, oh, like they kind of freaked out a little bit because they were like, oh no, we're behind.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're not behind. I just got here early and, you know, figured I could get started with details early.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, this is great. But yeah, like, would you recommend maybe moving away from like the structured, 6 hour, 8 hour, 10-hour packages? Or how would you recommend like adding in that buffer time, having that time to let things happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, a lot of the times too, when I'm on calls and stuff, I really try to get a good scope of work before even sending over anything. A lot of my packages are really custom based. I really like to kind of dig into, because most of the times I feel like the couple has some sort of ceremony time, if not a ceremony space, you know? So, and then they normally have a date. Sometimes they honestly don't. I do have a lot of inquiries still that are like, we're still looking, we're just chatting, that sort of thing. But majority of the time we have a date, we have a venue, we have a time of year. So I go based off the sun. I immediately check the sunset time. I look and see how long our day is going to be. And then I ask them if they have a ceremony time. And then after that, I just kind of reverse engineer a timeline. I build up cocktail hour to reception, how that normally kind of flows, unless they say we're having like a 2-hour cocktail hour or we're having a break in between cocktail hour to go do photos downtown or something. And then I kind of reverse engineer that back up. So then I'll ask, okay, do you have a first look? Okay, we're going to add a little extra time for first look and portraits and all that stuff. If not, we're going to cut about an hour out. And that alone helps me tremendously just kind of build a package that fits them so that they already have that buffer time before they even receive the collections. I am very type A. I love a timeline. I could make a timeline in my sleep, but it really does just kind of like leaving a little bit of room, maybe not offering always. I stopped offering 6 hours packages a couple of years ago, and it was game changer. Cause I think if people don't even acknowledge it and they don't even really think that they can attain that, they're like, oh, it's not even for us. If they see it, they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we can make this fit
we
in
could
6
probably
hours.
squeeze this into 6 hours.
And I never want couples to think that they have to squeeze, because at the end of the day, you don't want to squeeze your memories. And like, I have packed timelines all the time, almost every weekend. We always run, things happen. Hair and makeup could maybe fall behind. We even had a wedding recently where both times we used the bus broke down. So we never actually used the bus. We had to call Ubers, and we were downtown, and then we went Ubered to the portrait location. And then but I think that's where we shine our best, and that's where I thrive. I thrive under chaos sometimes, because that's when sometimes the best memories are happening, because either people are like loving it, and a lot of my couples will lean into it and be like, this is just part of the day. And it just kind of builds more of a story. And again, it kind of goes back to finding those moments where you can kind of tell that story and build that legacy. Is just really predicting the moments that are going to happen. Yes, the timeline's going to run late, but you still know this is going to happen at some point, and then this is immediately going to follow. That's emotionally driven, that they're doing on their own. So whether it is we're doing a first look, great, you got the first look, don't put that camera down, keep shooting. Turn towards mom and dad, turn towards, like, get all the angles that you can't have. And also having a second is so incredibly helpful. None of my weddings really I offer anymore don't include a second shooter, because having two POVs, I always have my second on everybody else but what I'm shooting, because I want to be able to build as many memories and moments and capture as many emotions as I possibly can. And doing all of that gives you it's like the perfect little cocktail to like a storytelling, emotive driven, all the things in like a timeline. And I love it. It's worked for me so well.
Yeah. That is one thing that like having an experienced second photographer with you is great, to where you can be like, hey, your focus is other people. Your focus is the reactions. Like during toasts or something, it's like, don't even take a photo of the couple. Don't take a photo of the person giving the toast. You're looking at parents. You're looking at friends who are like, oh, I remember that night. And they're laughing and hitting each other on the shoulder. And like, you want those moments, while you can get the more traditional stuff. Or if it's someone who you've been working with a long time, like I have some second shooters that I've been working with for 8 years now. And I'm like, you're getting the traditional stuff. I'm getting the fun reactions.
Yes, exactly. Because sometimes you got to switch it up a little bit. And that's also the nice thing too. It's like, I've had, team members for 5 years going on 6 years. And it's so awesome because they do get to know you so well on how you shoot and, all the things that kind of come on a wedding day and how I react to it and how we kind of, pivot and all that stuff. But they know exactly what to look for. And when it does come to having new seconds, I always just say, make sure even during the day, always be giving CC in the best way possible. Checking back at cameras if you do have a quick second, or if you guys are packing up to do something, hey, can I just see this real quick? Okay, great. Keep doing that. Or okay, actually pivot to this, and having that, because then it also kind of helps your team a lot in order to build that story as well. And again, if they don't know your shooting style, you could see it on Instagram and you could see it on my, my reels and stuff, but at the end of the day, how I'm getting that is totally different. It might be from a totally different lens, literally a totally different lens than they would normally use. And it's like, no, I actually want you to shoot on this. And half the time I'll be willing to give my lenses, if they're shooting Canon, given a Canon lens and all right, use this one to get the really tights and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely love a second shooter. I always try to push for that extra hour that everyone's always like, we might be able to go without it. I'm like, promise. You're going to want it, especially in the morning.
You're going to want it.
Especially in the morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't want that morning time rushed because that sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Exactly. And then it's just this elevated heart rate where just and then you feel like you constantly have to be moving. Once things slow down, it's you're looking for the next thing. I don't want you looking. Just want you to be present.
Yep.
That's all I want you to be.
Just chill for the rest of the day. Yeah. No, I love that tip of setting those expectations early, even before they've booked, on that discovery call when you're talking about the different packages and timelines and all of that, giving them that little seed of, you're going to want some buffer time here, and we're going to add in some buffer time after your first look for portraits, and for just you might need some water. Who knows?
Yeah.
If it's summertime, it's going to be hot. And talking to them about that early on, to where they're not, especially if they don't have a planner, they're not creating this timeline based off of something that they found on Pinterest or some random blog somewhere.
Or
and
Etsy.
Then they meet with you. Yeah. And then they meet with you and you're like, yeah, so this is not realistic. And then they have to completely redo the whole thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, setting that off from the beginning.
And also
so good.
The last thing is what I love to do. If I do have a couple that's kind of I'll tell them, okay, definitely go with this one then. But just so you know, a couple months before we might be adding that hour, but that's a maybe. If you're 50-50 on it, don't make the jump now. You don't have to. But just letting you know, when we do go over the final timeline and everything, then we might be kind of considering an extra hour now. And then they're like, okay, that makes me feel, because at the end of the day, they don't want to feel like they're going too much. Some couples, they don't want to do more than they have to, in a sense of, booking a package or something. They're like, I really feel like, and I do get that, because sometimes they're right. They might only need the 9 hours, but just to kind of let them know. And just, I always say the transparency, the honesty too, on that initial call is going to be game changer. I always tell my couples, when you're investing in us and my team and myself, I'm investing 110% in you guys. So I will be open and I will be honest and I will communicate all those things. And, that also really sets you apart when you are on those consult calls of just telling people that I am fully transparent. I will communicate this with you and I will give you my honest feedback. And because at the end of the day, most of these people are only getting married. This is their first time. So, they don't know left from right when it comes to some of this stuff. And you just have to be the one to be you kind of have to sometimes be the mom of the,
you're the professional. You're the one who has, shot hundreds of weddings. You can be like, I've done this a time or two.
Yeah.
This is what I'd recommend for a timeline. You can still, figure out whatever you want, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to be the professional. And having that, building that trust, not gatekeeping at the beginning, not being like, well, I don't know, or just hoping that they'll
just
figure it out.
Running off numbers right away. It's always listening and digesting and following up with it and just making sure they feel heard and feel seen. And then opening up with that transparency and that honesty, communication, all those things, and then kind of going into that timeline aspect. I feel like that has always really helped me. I've been doing that for years, and sometimes it's too type A for couples, but that's okay. We find the people, I only take around 15 weddings a year, so the people that book with me, they know that they're going to be getting somebody that's very transparent when it comes to logistics, but also heavy on communication, and just making sure that that vision is really understood, that we can execute wedding day, and it's like without a hitch. And and vision calls, always do a vision call before your wedding day, because it will make the world of a difference when it does come to that really crunched down timeline. Like just getting those little visual moments in a couple weeks before the wedding, that way it's still fresh in your brain, helps a ton when it comes to like, okay, I'm on crunch time. What do I need to get? Like, what are my visuals that the couple kind of gave me? That helps me a ton too.
Yeah. And helps them to keep that front of mind too on the wedding day, to where they're like, oh yeah, I forgot we talked about that. And they're like, oh yeah, we just talked about this a couple weeks ago. I am so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I love it.
Great.
I love this has been so much fun. Before we wrap up, and you can let people know where to find you online and all that, there's part of the show that I like to do where we talk about what we're loving this week. And it can be literally anything: book, TV show, movie, new food. What are you loving this week?
Oh my gosh. Well, kind of wrapping back all the way to the beginning of our conversation, I have been loving the way my garden is turning out. I'll give you my haul.
Yes.
I've gotten 4 cucumbers. I have gotten 2 zucchinis. We have about 3 habanero peppers growing. I have a yellow bell pepper still on. I'm growing broccoli for the first time. Very excited. If anybody has any tips on how to get rid of moths, though, that grow on them, please send them my way. And then our cherries we did compost this year for the first time, and it made the world of a difference. But my gosh, how many cherry tomatoes we put in our compost really showed in our actual garden, because there are cherry tomatoes and beef tomatoes plants everywhere. So I'm very excited. They haven't turned yet, but it was something that I noticed yesterday, and it just brought me so much joy to start the week. Cause I was like, I'm going to be making marinara sauce, salsa. That's what I've been loving. I've been loving my garden, and she's just providing.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, the tomato plants, they produce so much. Like I was not expecting that. We had some, we inherited a garden at one point. And there were maybe 6 tomato plants. And then we had 50 tomatoes, and we were like, I don't even know what to do with all this. And we were figuring out how to can stuff. And but no, I love that. I had a habanero plant. At the beginning, I did say that I don't have a green thumb. But I think it's just maybe recent years I have either just neglected or just didn't plant things in the right season.
I was going to say that makes a world of a difference. Is I planted this year the week before Mother's Day, I think it was. And that a week or 2 before. I started a little bit earlier because I did do everything from seeds. With the exception of lettuce. But I did plant the lettuce a little earlier than people tell you. And that was the one I gave bunches of lettuce away to people. I had it growing like bushes, just insane. The compost and planting early, I think, really is what set me up for success this year. And then just letting the tomatoes drop and then annually grow was also a game changer. So little tips. Next year, just plant a little earlier. And if you can, we don't do a crazy compost, though. We literally use an old recycling bin that we have. It's like a red one from the 90s. We made a wooden lid for it. Just toss some dirt in there, some grass clippings, and then all of our eggshells and stuff. And it is really the nitrogen is just everything is just grown so huge. So I think you could do it, though. I think better than you.
I think so. I think what I need to do is plan.
Yeah.
I need to have a plan. Because normally it's we're at the store and I'm like, ooh, let's get some bell pepper seeds. And then we just plant them. And I'm looking on the back of it, and it has the different color coats of if you live in this state, this is when you should plant it. I'm like, I think we're close enough. But I never think to plant anything like February when you're supposed to plant a lot of stuff, like after a good freeze, and then it goes. It's always like once it's springtime, I'm like, I'm going to plant these things, and then they just don't take. So yeah, I think a little planning will help. But when I have had plants, I have loved them. We had a blueberry bush for a few years, and that was so great to just walk in the backyard and pick a blueberry and pop it in your mouth.
I'm trying. I have one plant, and it literally every year just stays this big, and it has one branch. And I'm like, what are we doing? This feels like, my gosh, I'm blinking with the peanuts. It just like the little mini Christmas tree. That's my blueberry bush.
It's your Charlie Brown blueberry bush.
It's my driver. Yes, exactly. It's if Charlie Brown did a summertime series, a garden talk series, his blueberry bush would not be thriving, or his raspberries for that matter either. I cannot. Yeah. Bushes are just not my thing. I think I just need to stick to the plants, and then that's about it. Bushes I'll go scavenger for raspberries and blueberries.
Exactly. Yeah. Make a friend with a bush person, and then y'all can exchange.
Swap
like,
garden
I have
stuff.
So many zucchinis. Here you go.
Here you go. Can I have a blueberry, please?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. I love that.
I love it.
Let's see. Okay. I'm loving a show that I recently watched. My wife got me into it, and it was really good, called Off Campus.
Yes. So
I don't remember what streaming platform that is. I think it's Prime, maybe.
I was going to say it's Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. And that was so good. I didn't really know if I was going to get into it, because like it's kind of like not really a rom-com.
I was going to say rom-com because it kind of is.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the
not
best
like a
way I could describe
traditional. Yeah, it's not a traditional like Matthew McConaughey kind of rom-com.
Right. Oh gosh.
But those are good too.
Those are so good.
But it was really good, and there were some characters that really grew on me, and I was like, you know what, Dean, I like you now.
You know what, Dean? Yeah, I know Dean grew on me too. I was like, I don't think you're that bad after all. I think you got, character development is going great. I'm excited. And I also didn't know they were based off books actually too, which I love reading, and I had no idea.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't like Dean because I thought he was kind of like a little bit of a womanizer at first. And then like 100%. Once you get to know him, and then it's like, oh no, you actually like really respect women. And like he was like talking to other guys about, consent and all that. And I was like, all right, okay, Dean,
He's actually like a mentor, and not a bad way. Like you think he's going to give the wrong advice, but then you're like, wait, you're actually giving really good advice right now. That's really good, really big of you, Dean. I'm seeing where you're growing. I'm excited to see where season 2 takes him.
Me too. Yeah, especially with the cliffhanger at the end of season 1. That I love that they did that without even having season 2 like in the bag. They're like,
I know.
We're going to leave it on this, and then everyone's going to.
They knew it was going to be a hit. Yeah. They knew it was going to be a hit. And he's from Naperville. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, small towner. Yeah. Nice. Well, not Dean. I'm so bad with names when it comes to shows sometimes. Graham, thank you. I was going to say Grant. Yes, Graham. Yeah, he's from Naperville, I found out. And I was like, oh. Small
That's
world.
Cool. Yeah.
Lots of cool people come from Illinois.
That is very cool. Yeah. I just found out what is her name? The redheaded girl from Stranger Things.
Yes. I just saw her yesterday on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get the name right. I was going to say Sophia, but I don't think that's it.
Yeah, she's like from like near where I grew up, and I was like,
really?
So cool. Yeah.
I need to look her name up. It's going to drive me nuts. Sadie Sink. Thanks. Sophie was close. Sadie Sink.
Yeah. Sadie Sink.
Awesome.
But yeah. Okay. Well, cool. I love those things. Where can people find you, Nichole?
Yes.
Where can they say hey, follow along, see your photos, all those kinds of things?
All fun things. Well, you can definitely follow me on Instagram. That's where I am chronically visiting and making appearances. It's Nichole Babiez Photography. It's spelled Nichole, Nichole. Babiez is spelled like babies with a Z, Babiez. So I always introduce myself as Nichole Babiez because that's what people read it as. So if you want to say, and I know I do not do newborns, I got that all the time in this industry.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like, so you do newborn babies? I said, it's Babiez, but I honestly didn't think of that until somebody said that, I think 2 or 3 years into the industry. And then somebody made that connection. And I said, you know what? It's a good idea though, but not for me right now.
Maybe in another life. Yeah.
Maybe in another life. But Instagram is my main platform, or you can check out my work on my website. It's NicholeBabiez.com.
Okay. Awesome. I'll have that linked in the show notes for everyone so y'all can click over, follow Nichole. But yeah, Nichole, thank you so much for being on the show. I really enjoyed all of our mini tangents and interruptions and banging on the doors from children and Roombas.
Yeah, exactly. We both have just chaos going on, I guess. It's like, you think you're going to get a little bit, it's like, oh, just kidding. A little spice into it. No, it's been so great. I've loved it. Lots of wisdom on the tangents, all the things, really keeping the name alive. It's been so fun, and I've just been so happy to be here. And it's truly a lot of laughter. I've loved it. It's so fun. So it's been so great to be with you today.
Yeah, likewise. Well, anyone who is watching live or watching the replay, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in, and see you for the next episode.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. As always, you can check out all the show notes at podcast.allheartphoto.com, and something special coming up this week. So if you're listening to this live on the week that this comes out, before August 17th, really, there is a virtual summit that I'm going to be speaking at called the Book More Weddings Summit. Heidi Thompson, who was a guest on the show a few months ago, she is hosting this. She does it every year, and it is fantastic. It's so much. It's 5 days of online summits, 34 of us expert speakers. We're going to be talking about all sorts of different things. Anything and everything, like all the different angles of how to book more weddings. And mine is, of course, going to be mindset driven. I'm going to be talking about 3 mindsets that are holding you back, that you probably didn't even know that you had, because I didn't know that I had them. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm also going to be live for some Q&A that week as well. But yeah, it is August 17th through the 21st. So if you want to grab your free ticket to that summit, you can just scroll down in the show notes and click on that Book More Weddings link. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to another episode. Definitely go give Nichole a follow. This was so much fun. I definitely want to have her back on the show and get to hang out in real life. I feel like we would be friends. But yeah, go give her a follow. And if you're not subscribed to the show, subscribe so you get the next episode dropped right into your feed. And until then, keep creating and keep making the world a better place. Bye, y'all.